Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about triggers versus root causes and why avoiding triggers isn't enough. And if you feel like you're constantly avoiding foods, heat, stress, friction, and you're still feeling flares, this video is for you. And in the last video, we talked about mast cells and histamine and how they drive symptoms in lichen conditions. But today, we're going to be talking specifically about triggers. What are they, why they matter, and why avoiding them alone usually doesn't lead to healing. Triggers are things that activate your mast cells and cause symptoms to flare. Common triggers include heat, sweating, friction, emotional or physical stress, hormonal shifts, certain foods, and environmental exposures. And when mast cells are already sensitive, these small triggers can create these big reactions. And this is why many people feel that their body is overreacting or they're constantly in a flare. Triggers can feel unpredictable. A food one day, it may be fine and not cause a flare, and then the next day it does. One stressful week leads to a flare, but another stressful week doesn't. And that's because triggers don't act alone. They interact with how reactive your immune system already is. So when the tolerance is low, that same trigger, it suddenly becomes this big problem. And many people with lichen conditions notice patterns like flares during stress, worsening symptoms with heat or humidity, increased irritation during hormonal changes, food sensitivities, or flares after an illness, antibiotic use, or poor sleep. These patterns matter, but they don't mean that the trigger itself is the root cause. They tell us that the immune system is already overwhelmed. So avoiding triggers, it can help short term. But if avoiding triggers were the solution, people wouldn't continue flaring after changing their diets, managing stress, and avoiding products. Triggers activate the mast cells, but they don't explain why mast cells are overreactive. When the underlying drivers aren't addressed, the immune system stays reactive and tolerance continues to drop. So from a functional health perspective, root causes often include things like gut inflammation, chronic infections, hormonal imbalances, nervous system dysregulation, and toxic burden or impaired detox pathways. These place constant stress on the immune system. Healing focuses on raising tolerance, not a constant avoidance. So triggers aren't the enemy, they're information. They show us where the system is sensitive, but they're not the full story. But in the next video, we're going to dive deeper into the root causes, how functional health practitioners identify what's keeping the immune system stuck in a reactive state. So if you're finding these videos and this series helpful, please subscribe so you don't miss the next part of the series. And if you haven't watched part 1 and 2 yet, I recommend starting there because everything begins to connect. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.